Hello and welcome to World Edition on FocusMeIreland.com, the online showcase for innovation and small business. Have you ever thought of sending money through Facebook or other social media platforms? Well, one Palo Alto and South African company is aiming to do just that. ZunguZ is aiming to change forever the way people use, spend and transfer money by allowing customers to use the facility through Facebook. Co-founder of ZunguZ, Robert Sussman, joins me now from South Africa. So Robert, what is ZunguZ?
ZunguZ is a platform that connects deeply into the social graph and connects to financial services providers and applications. It's some software, it's some code that we started developing. We did a POC in 2010. We entered into a closed beta environment in 2011 after a series of meetings that were held between many of the leading global banks in New York, in Silicon Valley, throughout South Africa, as well as many leading social networks. We had our first meeting actually with Facebook when they were looking at penetrating into emerging markets, specifically into Africa, which was in around 2010. And after understanding the integration and the reach that social networks had, and more specifically Facebook, obviously as they were growing to where they are today at about 850 million users across the world, together with the understanding of what a lot of the financial services were being provided to the emerging markets as well as the mature markets, from those including meetings with Citibank, with ABSA's, Barclays Bank, with members from PayPal and so on and so forth. And essentially what ZunguZ is it's a multi-tiered platform. The first tier of the platform is the one that's currently live now, and essentially it provides seamless money flow to take place between Facebook friends. So in terms of this particular tier, the person sending or receiving money doesn't have to have a bank account. You don't need to have an email address. You don't need to have a phone number either. So our differentiation from a lot of other payment services is you're able to pay somebody by using the social token or identifier that's issued to us by whichever social network we actually work on, whether it's Orkut or whether it's Twitter or whether it's Facebook. ZunguZ has never set out to become a bank and has never set out to touch the money either. So what we do is we integrate into the banks. So we use existing bank accounts, existing banks, existing financial service regulation and compliance. And that's generally along the tier one. So from a tier one perspective, the integration into the social networks is done, which allows people to connect globally. So 1 in 12 people in the world are able to connect into ZunguZ. On the integration from a financial services provider, we have integrated to allow money transfer to take place from any Visa or MasterCard globally. But in terms of the withdrawal process, we've only concluded the integration with the South African banks now. So in other words, the withdrawal of money can only take place to local South African banks. We are working with banking partners and providers now in the United States, in India and Mexico, and we'll be going live with those countries next.
Does this mean that somebody on Facebook can send some information to their local bank and another person can go to, we'll say, the hole in the wall or into the desk in the bank and take this money out through that Facebook transfer?
Correct. It is exactly that. So we've done the integration, which currently allows you to withdraw to a South African bank account. What we're currently busy with now is the ability to go to an ATM and to withdraw cash. So essentially, ZunguZ will issue you with a PIN. So inside Facebook, you'll get a PIN. That PIN will get text to your mobile. You go up to an ATM and you can do a cardless withdrawal. In other words, you can go and you can enter just the PIN and the cash will actually come out.
Obviously, there's the security issue here. What if somebody hacks my Facebook account, or what if somebody hacks some other social media account and manages to get information like my bank account details or something like that? How do you prevent that from happening? What kind of systems do you have to prevent that?
From a technology perspective, the most important part of our security is that we send a one-time PIN. So you can, because most people, as you actually say, is most people, in fact, don't even actually hack into Facebook. A lot of people actually just leave their Facebook account open in that when you open your laptop or your iPad, you can just log on to or just actually access Facebook. So what we do is every time you want to transfer funds, we send you a one-time PIN to your mobile, and we've got second factor authentication, which means that we're not only using the internet as the first level of security with SSL and Thought and HTTPS, but we're also using the cellular networks for second factor or authentication as well.
You're not trying to bypass banks here, are you? You're trying to work with banks in order for this to be effective.
Exactly. So we're not proposing to become a bank. We're actually using banks. So we use the existing banking network, but we actually allow the banks to have far broader scale and far broader reach. So as opposed to banking, which is all about banking and people on the outside, we're putting people at the center and putting financial services and banking around them. The true business model of ZunguZ is not actually even on the first tier, which is the money transfer. It's more actually along the second tier, which is now the provision of goods and services. And that's something we've already launched the first version of our second tier, which is running and it's live. And the second tier is essentially because we understand the social graph, we understand how people connect to each other, we understand the likes that people actually have. We also understand where people are born, so we know birthdays and so on and so forth, and events. We're able to now serve relevant goods and services to the friends of that particular person, suggesting to buy, for argument's sake, birthday presents or gifting or what the person likes. So we then create quite a large referral network. Anybody who is wanting to purchase a particular item through Facebook, it's a one-click purchase and buy. What that also does is it posts a unique URL link to the person's Facebook wall, and this is only if you actually want to post that link to all your friends or some of your friends or one of your friends, or if you don't want to post it at all. But if you do decide to post it, the benefit of that is that the provider of that good or service will credit you for basically convincing your friends to buy, because 50% of all Facebook purchases or all online purchases have some influence from Facebook friends. What is live now in terms of the tier 2 is a donation button. So if you want to donate $1 or 50 cents or $3 or $5 or $10 on the internet right now is very difficult. You need to have credit card details or whatever it's going to be, or alternatively, you need to load money from your bank account, and to transfer $1 or $2 often actually doesn't make sense. So what you can do right now, and anyone can actually do it, is you can create a Facebook gifting button. So if you are wanting to raise money for a charity, you can go set up your own button. It's a one-click payment button. So you can create a button that's $1 or $2 or $5. You click on that button and it donates. It takes $1 out of your bank account and sends it to that particular cause. It also publishes that to your wall. So if any of your friends want to donate $1 as well to that same cause, they just click on that link. So it's got quite a nice viral element to it as well.
And you mentioned it there's that social aspect of it as well, that perhaps somebody who's emigrated from a country, who comes from a poorer country, a third world country, and they can take this money and send it back to the local bank branch through their Facebook page.
Yes, exactly. So essentially, money transfer between friends can actually take place. Obviously, the transfer is done by the actual bank, so the banks are doing the back end, and the banks are transferring the money between bank accounts as well. What we have set up now is, for people that don't have bank accounts, is we've created a virtual account. So with ZunguZ right now, if you don't have a bank account, we will give you an on-demand account. That on-demand account is a bank, so it's a registered bank that issues the bank account. The bank account is their account, the money goes into the bank's account. So ZunguZ essentially don't ever actually touch the funds. And so our intention is very much focused along putting people at the center of the financial services, so existing financial services. We'll even start serving them insurance, and based on and we'll be able to serve the analytics based on their spend. So we'll understand the amount they're spending on insurance and maybe serve them relevant or more suitable insurance products that they can actually purchase as well. So very much it's around people and the way in which they spend money in terms of micro online spend. The third tier, which is something that we're releasing right now, is an API, which will essentially allow developers from around the world to develop applications that will get access to the ZunguZ platform. And we've got people who are distributing iTunes vouchers, electricity, lottery tickets, prepaid airtime, and so on and so forth, that are all integrating with us at the moment.
And where would you guys like to be in 3 to 5 years' time? If everything fell into place for you, if all the signs of everything good came your way, where would you like to see ZunguZ in 3 to 5 years' time?
So in 3 to 5 years' time, we would like to follow Instagram and sell ZunguZ to Facebook for $1 billion.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, with 13 people, I think they did very well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Although they did it in half the time. I think they did it in 18 months.
18 months, that's right.
Yeah. So in 3 to 5 years' time, what we would actually like to be is in a position where we understand the consumer exceptionally well. So it's all around, for us, it's all around intelligence. It's around intelligence for the way that people do micropayments online. It's to gather intelligence to who they actually pay online. And it's to have the intelligence so we can integrate with merchants to provide the customer with the right good and the right services at the exact point of purchase.
Robert Sussman from ZunguZ.com. Thanks very much for joining us on World Edition. And if people want to find out more, they can find you on ZunguZ.com. Best of luck to you and to ZunguZ.com over the next couple of years. Certainly a company to watch.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and all the best.